and butter than climate change, than people literally struggling every single day to cope with extreme weather events. We will continue to get things done with Labour, but we're frustrated, like people are, about the pace of change. It's too slow, it's not strong enough, and this is why we want to have a strong Green influence at the Cabinet table for this election.
You and James are going to be delivering a State of the Planet speech tomorrow. No need to do the whole speech, but give me a sample.
I won't do the whole speech for sure. But over the next 7 months, people can expect to see more of the green solutions to living with dignity, to protecting our climate, as we always have done. For example, we know the banks are creaming it right now. It is only the Greens who have asked for an excess profits tax so that people can live with dignity and we can protect our planet.
Give me one specific policy that you're going to be fighting for.
You'll have to wait for what we're sharing with Aotearoa, but be confident that we'll be putting out our vision for an Aotearoa that works for everyone.
Okay, that sounds like nothing new. But isn't this coming back to an old problem here, Marama? Unless you can credibly threaten to put National in government, you don't have any leverage with Labour, and that's how Chris Hipkins was so easily able to take an axe to your priorities.
Before we get into that, just picking up on your comment about nothing new, it's because also the Greens have consistently been addressing and ahead of the issues and had the long-term view. If people want to see, and right now Aotearoa needs and deserves a government that prioritises climate action, this is a climate election, and for that, for the direction to be set by the Greens, we will need to see more Green MPs in Parliament.
But actually getting policy over the line requires negotiation with Labour. You need Labour more than they need you. How can you negotiate when they hold all the cards?
Any political party that wants to negotiate with us at all thin after the election will have to come to the table with strong action on climate change and policies that ensure that everyone can live with dignity, not just some. And that's
but
what we
National
are
couldn't come
focused
to
on.
you. You would not form a government with National.
Are you saying they're never going to care about climate change? Okay, well, that's up to them.
National as they are now, would you form a government with?
Right now, you've got Judith Collins wanting to keep on with fossil fuels, oil and gas exploration. You've got climate denial coming from Maureen Pugh. You've got so many examples of why a National enact government would be the worst thing for our planet and for people right now. And so the Greens are really clear. It is us in Parliament who we need to see more of for those solutions.
If I was putting myself in the shoes of a voter, that a vote for New Zealand First or for Te Pāti Māori or even TOP wouldn't be more impactful because they could actually credibly hold the balance of power.
We've continued to show that we get stuff done, even as a minor party, a smaller party in government.
Is this move from the Prime Minister a pragmatic shift for both parties? They move closer to the centre to try and win the election and give you room to attack them from the left?
I can't control or decide Labour's strategy for them. My focus is on our green values, our green priorities that we are offering to people.
How can they trust that the priorities you've just laid out aren't going to get axed as soon as it's pragmatic for the Prime Minister, though?
The power is in the people's hands.
Well, the Prime Minister's got most of the power, doesn't he?
People have the power to vote a strong green influence around the Cabinet table, and I urge people to use that power to see a strong green voice in the direction of the next government.
What do you expect to see in Budget 2023, and what's one thing that you don't think we'll see that we should?
We would like to see more for waste minimisation. We would like to see more for people, for the likes of what Eugenie Sage has been working on for 5 years, where people can return a container for a refund, and that will also help to protect Papatūānuku and put more income into people's houses and wallets.
On polling, climate change ranked as the #1 priority
Yes.
for 12% of Kiwis on a recent poll, but that's dwarfed by cost of living, which was at almost 50%. Isn't that on the Greens to improve your messaging to get that as higher up as a priority?
We have to do both. We have to help people live good lives and we have to save our planet, and they are connected issues, they're not separate issues. This is why it's really important for me to get the message out there. The Greens will continue, as we always have, to prioritise climate change. This will also make sure it's easier for people who are struggling the most. The weather we've got right now, 1.3 degrees? Imagine it at 2 degrees or 3 degrees. The lowest income households, disabled people, coastal communities will struggle the most.